So there's a chance that a lot of people working 9 to 5s who have always worked 9 to 5s might not even be aware that their job is causing them stress and affecting their creativity in a negative way until they quit.
Right.
I'm not always the most organized, and I'm not always the most efficient. The creative world isn't really either. It's not known for being organized, and art isn't really known for being efficient. You can be efficient with your time, though. For me, when I quit all of my jobs to just go all in with the music, I was already in the mode of waking up and going to work. So instead of waking up and leaving the house to go to work, I woke up and went into the studio and went to work. So just dividing that time that I have, and and I'm working more than 8 hours a day at this.
How many hours a day?
Man, like 12.
Yeah,
I hate to say it. It's a lot. It's a lot. I don't have a social life, and a lot of producers don't, especially when they're just starting out. So it's just a matter of really time management and staying intrinsically motivated. I see way too many producers or musicians or visual artists or whatever. They quit their job and it's like, okay, cool, I'm going to do this. And then the fact that they have this freedom, right?
Yeah,
no
they feel like they finally reached the pinnacle of being free and self-employed.
Well, no, I was going to say something actually negative about that. Because you have this freedom suddenly and you're in the studio, no one's telling you what to do.
Oh, no, that's
you're not.
What I mean, so like
you're not telling yourself what to do. Yeah, so because you don't have a supervisor saying, "What are you doing? Why are you taking a break?" They might just sit there and watch YouTube videos all day. So that wasn't going to work for me, obviously, because that doesn't move my brand forward. That doesn't give me any sales at the network. So I just had to, if you're replacing your love with, if you're replacing your 9 to 5 with a creative career, you just have to put in the same amount of time. If you're not putting 9 to 5 in, that's 8 hours. If you're not putting an 8-hour day into what you love doing, what are you doing? Why are you doing it?
Yeah. I agree.
And that's what a lot of people think. I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to put 2 hours in a day. I was putting 8 to 10 hours in my job that I hated, and I was making a living doing that. But now I want to just make music for 2 hours every other day. That'll do it. No, you really think? Come on, man. You think that if you put in 2 or 3 hours every other day, and you can make a living that no one else would be doing this? Everybody would be doing that because everybody has some creative inclination. Yeah. So the way that you stand out is by outworking the average artist. Yeah. I mean, talent is great, but a lot of people are talented. We're not at the point now where talent is the biggest factor in standing out. You can take 1,000 producers that are uploading beats to YouTube right now, and their mixes sound great. Their melodies are cool. They have an original style, and they love doing it. But the ones that are standing out are the ones uploading every day, the ones that have the best visual marketing, the ones that reply to every comment, the ones that have a consistent upload schedule, and so forth.
Yeah. I mean, I'd also say, like, surely, I mean, you'd be shitting yourself if you just left music and you're going from this nice, solid structure to something that is completely in control, or you control it. Just in response, I can't remember who asked the question, Lounge-Arific Music. I'd say, bro, I mean, you've got 24 hours in a day. Let's say you need 8 of them to sleep. That's 16 hours that you can just smash and crunch down a whole bunch of activity.
I was working part-time when I got my first plaque. I think you're leaving a lot of it up to chance if you're focused on a 9 to 5. I mean, if you're young, and you have tons of energy and you can just focus and allot your time so well, then yeah, who knows? I can't tell you what's going to work for you because I don't know you and I don't know what's in your heart. I don't know what's in your mind. But it's conceivable. I don't know. You know, Bubba got Beatz, the guy that did the 10 Toes Down challenge. He had a career. He was in IT. He was doing that forever. And I asked him, you know, he's making good money online. I asked him if he would ever consider quitting his career. And he said, "Why? I love my career. It was in IT." I don't know what happened, but 3 or 4 months after that, he quit his job, and now he's making beats full time. So, hopefully, I interview him. I am interviewing him soon, actually, in 2019. So I'm going to ask him what happened. But I think that's a great question, and I think that's one of those concerns that people have. What I see from people who work 9 to 5s is that they come home, they're exhausted from their, from their job. They don't have any creativity. If it's a job that you love and it doesn't cause you all this stress and tension, then maybe you can come home and create. Some people become creative when they're stressed out and when they're. Oh, Bubba Got Beats is in here. Okay, so. Hey, do you mind if can I kick you out for a second and have Bubba?
Yeah. Go ahead, man.
All right. How do I do this? All right, Bubba, can you request to be included here? I just said his name 3 times and he appeared. All right, patching Bubba Got Beats in. What's going down, sir?
Yo, what's going on, man?
How you doing? Happy holidays.
Good. Same to you, bro.
Okay, so just very quickly, because I know we have an extended interview, and I don't want to stretch your wisdom and knowledge out too thin and tire you out before the upcoming interview. But how would you respond to that question as to whether or not you can be a successful producer with a 9 to 5, as you just went through that? And I think you're especially unique because you had a career, not just a job.
Definitely. I didn't hear the whole question. I had just jumped in. I heard you talking about it. So if you can repeat the question.
I think in a nutshell, it was just, do I believe that a producer can be successful as a producer, which is problematic because what does success mean, right? But just in your opinion, based on your definition of success, can you find success as a producer with a 9 to 5 that's not related to music?
You still cutting out, but from what I think you're asking is, you can definitely be successful as a producer without a 9 to 5. I think a lot of producers think you got to have placements to be successful, but I think there's plenty of other ways that you can make money and stand up platforms to give you financial freedom. But
okay, so you did have a 9 to 5 and you just recently quit it, but it was more of a career.
Oh yeah, I did IT for over 10 years. I had college and certifications in IT. Actually, to be exact, I did IT for 13 years. And I quit to do this full time.
What finally? Because when I asked you first in our last interview whether you would even consider that, it wasn't really on your radar, and suddenly you did it. So someone said, "I work in a bitch ass restaurant," and afterward I make pizza. So you actually liked your career. You were reluctant to quit. What finally led you to make that decision?
Well, it was mostly timing because I did like my job. It was just becoming overwhelming trying to do both, and then we were having some changes at work that I didn't really care for, So I just decided to put that off, put working the 9 to 5 off because it was causing me additional stress and it was killing my creativity in some ways. So I just made that decision.
So there's a chance that a lot of people working 9 to 5s who have always worked 9 to 5s might not even be aware that their job is causing them stress and affecting their creativity in a negative way until they quit.
Right. Yeah, I've always worked 9 to 5 since I was 16 years old. So this is my first time not working 9 to 5.
What was the most overwhelming thing? Because I know you're not just making beat. I think a lot of people make the mistake that they quit their formal traditional job and then they just make beats all day, but there's no plan as far as their marketing is concerned or their ads are concerned and so forth. So to you, did you find that was more overwhelming, or was it just the fact that your creativity was being limited?
It was my creativity was being limited, and I also had set some goals that I had been succeeded, and I was like, if I save up this much, I'm going to start working. And I saved up that much and just kept working and kept working. And then it just came to a point in time where I guess I kind of felt too good for the things, how they were treating me at work, Like, I ain't like being looked down to, people that I made more money than was able to talk down on me, and it was just better to just go do my own thing.
Our Lifestyle did it. I don't know what you're talking about, but if you can request to join, I can bring you on. We can talk about the same thing, because I think we started an important conversation with this. So I appreciate you, Bubba, and we'll see. So everybody join Music Entrepreneur Club, because I believe, is it January or February where you're joining us to talk about your journey?
February 15th, I believe.
February 15th, musicentrepreneurclub.com. Join now for a free trial. And we have guests who are actually really living what topics you want to discuss. Appreciate you, bro. Happy New Year in advance.
No doubt, Santa, you found.
Where is Lifestyle Did It? Oh, no, there we go. All right. Patching Lifestyle Did It in. And then my bad, DSB is coming back. He is the moderator. What's going down, sir?
Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Apparently I'm faded. Dumb faded. What does that mean?
In Cali, you're high. You smoked. I was playing.
I was gonna say, I was worried because my eyes look crazy because for Christmas I got allergies. So thank you, Santa.
Yeah, Santa left you a pack under the tree.
I wish I were. Well, I'm happy I'm not allergic to animals, but I wish it was that simple.
Right.
So this is our first time talking other than through text.
Yes.
What's your situation like with employment? Are you working? Are you doing this full time through school?
I do both. I have a job that I can leave, but I don't know why I haven't yet. It's weird, man. I take it as like exercise type of thing. It gets me out of the studio, out of the being indoors all day. I just have a really, really what am I trying to say? Like tight schedule on purpose that works out for me. So it's like 8 hours free of the day that I just take in my mind as being able to, be outside, walk around, blah, blah, blah. And there's a bunch of benefits and stuff from there. So to me, I'm just keeping it so it's another source of income that I'm just stashing away for ads. You know what I'm saying? And it makes write-offs easier because I could just take my return I get from work and just pay taxes with that. Basically, I'm not quitting. I don't know why. I honestly couldn't tell you, because I can and I need to, but I'm just like, I'm already so used to my schedule that it doesn't feel like I'm leaving, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like the same thing Bubba was saying. He had to wait until it got to the point where there was some kind of additional impetus for him to quit, and for him it was changes in the structure of the company he worked for, or whatever it was. He was vague intentionally, but I think there is something to be said about. So someone commented, "Get out of the comfort zone." I feel like that's something I should have done a long time ago, but I just didn't. And I'm paying for it now. But at the same time, I think it depends on people, because life, maybe you've seen this happen, but I've certainly seen people step out of their comfort zone, especially with the whole exodus from everybody, from everywhere to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
or everywhere to LA, or everywhere to New York. And then you meet these people and it's like, yo, did you accomplish your goals? Well, no, I'm working at Walgreens, or I'm working at a diner, that kind of thing. So,
right.
But then there are the people who do that. They work in the diner forever, and all of a sudden you blink and they're celebrities. So
I think it depends on the person, honestly, because like the comment, get out of your comfort zone, it's not a comfort zone for me. I think everyone operates different. So that's why I never judge someone off how they do it, because if you have a job and you're just basically, you could have someone that works 50 hours a week and then does producing too and gets more work done than you, and not you, but the person commenting that, and they're at home all day long. It literally, like, you could put in 8 hours and I can put in 2 hours, but the work ethic is different. So you get work done differently. Just being able to be at home for 12 hours a day, no matter what, doesn't mean you're going to get more work done than someone that's grinding for 4 hours. Like, it really depends how you work, honestly.
That's another thing. Don't confuse duration with quality of work either, because a lot of people, they'll say, well, I've been doing this for 5 years. Why am I not big yet? This game is rigged. And it's like, but what were you doing for those 5 years?
Yeah.
You don't know how many people, especially recording artists and producers, where that's what they'll say. They'll say, I've been doing this for 15 years, but what did you do in those 15 years? I mean, how concerted were your efforts? How many beats were you making a day? How much time did you put in? Yeah. As a general rule, I don't care where you are, because the top selling producers on the internet aren't even from these big cities. Granted, Cash Money AP moved to LA, but he was from an island that no one's ever heard of. Mantra, no one's ever really seen his face, top selling producer. So there are a lot of people out there that aren't in these hot spots and they're still making good money. Dream Life lives in Panama, you know what I'm saying? And you can do it anywhere. The difference is the work ethic. And what I tell people as a general rule is just, if you're working a 9 to 5 and you want to quit and you want to make music for a living, you just apply the same principles.
Yeah. You
show up, you clock in, you do your work while you're there, and you focus on it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people
my bad, go ahead.
Oh, okay. They like the idea of working for yourself, but it's not planned out. Basically, I mean, I know we're both grown. We live on our own. You know what health insurance is. You know what everything is that you have to pay for, and a lot of people don't know what that is. So, they're ready to just quit and do this. And then when you move out and you get hit with your bills and your insurance and all this, then it's kind of like, it's different. You know what I'm saying? So it's not as easy as just, you have to have a plan, which I heard you mention when you're talking. I jumped in a little late, but that's the first thing I heard you say when I jumped in this, like, there really has to be a plan for this, because when you have a job, they have the plan for you. They hire you. They say, this is your benefit. This is your schedule. Come at this time. It's so easy because all you need to do is show up and go home. That's why, like, you'll hear a lot of people like Gary Vee say that, or Elon Musk say they wish they could work normal jobs, because you get told when to come, when to leave, you go home, you turn off. When you're in this, you're a constant cycle. You're going, you need to market, you need to change your brand. You need to, if you don't get paid tomorrow, your bills don't get paid. You got to be able to know to invest and get your own, retirement plan going. There's a bunch of stuff. You don't just, make $3,000 a day and then blow it on a car. Like, there's a lot to it. That's why, if you work 5 jobs, like, how would I ever know that? Because all I see is you going crazy on YouTube with BeatZ doing interviews. So you're putting in work, I don't know. It's just a weird concept to me. I feel like some people can work. I have a friend that works 4 jobs and has 2 kids and still is able to come, over for an hour a day. Like, he just knows his schedule. He knows how to make things work, where to get his sleep, and how to live his life. And it's just, some other people can't do that. It's just, each person's different.
Yeah, I always get a little apprehensive when I know that there are people who are about to quit their traditional job and jump into music full time, but they're also unstructured people who can't motivate themselves to wake up in the morning and do the work, because it's easy to be creative, and some people can't even force themselves to do that because they're not used to being creative on a schedule.
Right.
And then in addition to that, the creativity doesn't really matter if nobody's hearing your music. So you got to put yourself on a schedule. If you're firing your boss, you're becoming your boss.
Exactly.
Basically.
You're the one cutting your own check. You got to
and I'm glad you said that. The thing about a 9 to 5, you work for someone else. They have the structure for you.
Yeah.
When you work by yourself, you are the HR department. You are handling payroll. You're the person that handles your own insurance. You're the person who delegates work.
Yeah.
You're the person you're the marketing department lead. You're the guy in the factory. You know what I'm saying? You're doing
everything.
Everything. So if you're not ready for that, then I would say before you jump into the deep end, start learning and start slowly planning for that transition.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can just jump in and you know what I'm saying? They find their way, but the average person can't do that. And the last thing you want to do is jump in without a plan. And then when you start drowning, it burns you out. And then suddenly music isn't fun for you anymore. That's the tragedy.
There's so much into it, and you have to longevity, man. That's what I tell people you got to think of, because you know, you're working for a company, let's just say even McDonald's. Let's say you have like a normal job like that. Like, this company has been founded forever. They have everything figured out. They have longevity in their game. And when you're working on your own, like, let's say you're making 100,000 this year, that doesn't guarantee next year you're going to make 100,000 unless you know what you're doing. You can project numbers and figure out where sales are coming from and how to change. But like, there is no guarantee in this. For all we know, like, just like you see the record that the industry went from, you know, physical to streaming, and they don't know what the hell to do now. You could see how they're finicking for certain things when it started going to iTunes and Spotify. Like, now let's do this type of deal where we take money from here because they're running out of money. Walmart's no longer selling the CDs for them. You know, it's just things like that in a year could happen again. And streaming can just boop, somehow it just, something switches, something new comes out, and you got to be ready for that, because if you're not, like, you're going to be begging your boss for your old job back, you know? So there's just, there's so much that goes into it.
Speaking from experience, that's definitely the case. Me and Lifestyle have a lot to talk about moving forward, so don't worry, you'll see us again having these dialogues. Appreciate you, bro. I'll talk to you soon. My bad, things have been crazy.
All right, man.
And then let me bring, and thank you for sharing that. Let me bring DSB back in. He's the official moderator. And then we'll close out with more Q&A. Instagram's really strict with their live limits, so they're gonna kick me off right after an hour. I don't even know what time it is. Let's see what time it is. Yeah, we got about 10 minutes left. So DSB, where you at? I will start answering questions in the meantime. Someone wants to know how many hours of sleep Lifestyle gets every night. He gets 7.5. I just know that. Don't ask me how.